Hey everybody, so it's Saturday morning. I'm at a citywide sale and it took a little bit of digging, but she finally found it. My first score of the day, a Nintendo with a pretty decent stack of games. Just show you right there. It's also Excite Bike in there. That Werewolf one I didn't have for sure, and then Mike Tyson's Punch Out is always good to find. 65 bucks, so not a bad deal. I'm happy with it. So it's been kind of slow today. But it's still really early and the sales are just starting to pick up. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when I find something else. See you in a bit. This is the craziest thing ever. From this sale right there, as you can see right there, I got that boxed Nintendo with like 6 games, 3 Mario games, Excite Bike, RC Pro-Am, and Turtles 1 for 10 bucks. 10 bucks. It's missing the controllers. That's it. I got controllers, so I can't believe that. $10 score. This box is clean. I think it's cleaner than mine. We'll see. Man, that is great. That just changed the day. Like I always say, one sale to change the day. So yeah, I'm gonna hit up this other sale right here. See you guys in a bit. What's up, everybody? So all done with the garage sales, and it was pretty good. I didn't go out yesterday. Only today, Saturday. And it started off pretty slow. There was a lot of people that said, you know, they'd sold it previous garage sales, or they had something inside but they didn't want to sell it, that kind of thing. But the two big ones that I got today that, you know, did bring stuff out was both NES stuff. So I mean, really good NES. You know, I got maybe one or two. I think actually just one NES game in here that I didn't have, but still it's pretty good. And then some pretty good stuff. And then I got a package from eBay that I scored, and I have a stack of games that I picked up from a trade event that happened at the beach in my area, and really cool. One of my good buddies, it was his first time hosting it, and it was a really great event. So I'll show you guys that stuff last. So the first thing I find, like I said, the day was, you know, pretty slow. And I actually passed this sale up the first time around because they had a big van in their driveway and I didn't see it coming from the opposite way. So I went around the block, you know, went to the sale that I was on my way to, and I came back and I saw it. So I stopped. I asked them, you know, you guys have any Nintendo, anything, or, you know, go through the list of stuff. And at first they're talking, asking, and then this lady comes out of the house. She's like, yeah, I have Nintendo. So it took her a little while to find it. And she was just about to give up and get my number, and she looks on a shelf, and bam, there it is. So it's the Nintendo. Pretty clean. It's actually I thought it was a lower model, but pretty clean Nintendo. Came with the control deck manual, zapper, all the cables, and 2 controllers. And then a pretty decent stack of games. First we have the Eliminator, little cleaning kit. And a decent stack of games. Tecmo Bowl, World Cup, Baseball Stars, Excite Bike, Commando, Kung Fu, Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, and World Class Track Meet, which I actually needed a copy of this for my boxed set up there. And then the best 2 games, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, which is you know, probably the best game in the lot. Pretty decent, you know, holds its value. And then a game that I didn't have for my collection, so always happy to get something for the collection. I mean, once you get such a big collection, it starts to get hard when you find bundles. It seems like you have everything that you find. So even, you know, it's a lower end game, but still, I love getting games that I don't have. Werewolf, The Last Warrior. So pretty sweet. Definitely happy to add that guy to the collection. I paid $65 for that whole bundle. Not a bad deal. She said that somebody had came the last time they had a sale, and they were supposed to come back and get it, and they never did. So I'm happy that they never came back and got it. Okay, next, I didn't show this one like on the little pickup, but it was just a quick little pickup for 10 bucks, a DSi. So pretty decent. They had a PS Vita, and I guess she forgot the password, so she was locked out of it and she couldn't get back in it. So they couldn't figure out a price, and I didn't want to pay too much because I don't know a lot about PS Vitas, so I didn't know if it was something that would have been easy to get around or what, you know. But it was. I mean, they couldn't come up with a price anyways, so it wasn't a big deal. Next, okay, so this was a really decent grab. Walk up to the sale and ask, you know, my whole thing at, you know, Nintendo and so on, and the lady immediately was like, yeah, I have a Nintendo, and I was like, cool, yeah, if you don't mind grabbing it, I'll check it out. And she comes back out with it, and I'm watching her walk out, and she walks out with this. So I was like, oh, sweet, you know. Now she only had a little bag, and it was full of these 3 Mario Duck Hunts. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I asked her, you know, did you happen to have any other games and whatnot? And then she ends up going back inside the house and she brings out these 3. Excite Bike, RC Pro-Am, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I'm looking through everything. It's missing the controllers, but that's it. Everything else is in there. Really clean, the foam and stuff. Really clean Nintendo. I asked her how much, and she was like, 10 bucks? Sold. That's a really, really good deal. 10 bucks for an action set, and this box I think is far better than mine, so I think I'm going to be keeping this one in the collection. So pretty stoked. She said that she got it at a yard sale, and I think she got it for cheaper than that, so pretty good. She didn't have any attachment to it. I guess apparently she had another one in the house, and she only kept like Mario Bros. 3, I think. She said a friend bought that for her from a yard sale, so that's pretty cool. Pretty stoked about that. So 10 bucks. That's probably NES find, like cheapest NES find in a while. And then last for the garage sales for 3 bucks. For the GameCube, I got Rampage Total Destruction. So pretty decent. There was a citywide today, and I went to quite a few sales, you know, but not that this is quite a bit of stuff to find, you know, but I'm sure, you know, sometimes in earlier videos I found way more, you know, so definitely wasn't as great as this citywide is going, because I know this citywide sale I've come home with a lot more stuff before, so, but it's still good. I'm happy to find anything, you know, when, especially, you know, days are getting a little sparse here and there, like as far as the swap meets. I haven't, you know, done a swap meet video in a while. It's just because I haven't really been finding anything there. It's, you know, there's nothing to show, so I don't know, either I'm gonna try to change up swap meets or just figure something else out. But as far as garage sales go, garage sales are still strong. Alright, so now this was a grab on eBay. Now it was a lot of games that were considered, you know, not good enough to sell. Now I tested out a few of the good games, and they work. You know, I have a disc resurfacer, so you know I'm gonna fix them up. There's only one in here that doesn't work, and it sucks, you know, but it's not a big deal. I paid 38 bucks for this whole lot, and one of the most expensive games in here is double that. So these are the games that were in the cases. Castlevania, Lament of Innocence, Evolution Skateboarding, Jak and Daxter, Ultimate Spider-Man. This one's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to keep this one. Heavenly Guardian. And then the one that didn't work, which sucks, but I kind of figured it didn't work from the beginning. Super Smash Bros. Melee. So it wasn't, you know, that big of a deal. It was the PS1 game that I'm about to show you that was the heavy hitter. I've seen this thing disc only ranging from, you know, $50 to $60, and there's not that many that are listed online. Silent Bomber. So I'm just gonna keep it. Hopefully, you know, I can find a case for it or something like that. So that's a pretty good one. And then there was another good one in here too, also. Kingsfield 2. So I actually have King's Field. Yeah, the first one, long box. So it's kind of unfortunate that it wasn't the right one, but those two were like the heavy PS1 games. Okay, so these are the rest of the PS1 games. Die Hard Trilogy 2. All the rest of these are all disc only. Need for Speed High Stakes. Gran Turismo 2. These are the Xbox 360. Show these ones quicker. The Outfit, Splinter Cell Conviction, and Lego Batman. There's those. And I'll go through these ones quick. We got Star Wars The Clone Wars, Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings, Grand Theft Auto 3, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, SOCOM 2, Midnight Club 3, Shrek's Carnival Craze, Cabela's Trophy Bucks, Ford Racing 2, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, PlayStation Underground Holiday 2001, Need for Speed Underground, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, Crash Twinsanity, The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now I have cases for a majority of these, so that works out. $38, that's not a bad deal considering the two PS1 games that I needed to work. They both work, and I mean they're pretty valuable and hard to find. So, and I'm gonna keep both of them. All right, last but certainly not least, these are my pickups from the trade event I was telling you guys about. It happened in Huntington Beach, and one of my good buddies hosted it. It was the first time, and it was really good. I mean, the weather was awesome. It was inside, you know, just awesome. It was a fun hangout, and got a few things from my collection. Oh, and also one of these things is from eBay, but I'll save that for last. It's a heavy hitter. Okay, so from the trade event, I got Kokoma Night in Busyland for the Super Nintendo. Paid $10 for that one. These two were a gift from one of my buddies. It was actually my birthday that day. It was on the 28th that it happened. And he just hooked me up with these, so definitely cherish these. I'm going to keep these in the collection. A complete in box N64 blue controller, which I didn't have this color in the box. I think I have green and black, I think. And then a Mega memory card for the Game Boy Color. So pretty cool items. Definitely thanks for that. That was pretty awesome. You know, just anything, you know, given to me, I cherish, I keep in the collection, I never get rid of. So okay, this one I did a trade with my buddy. I traded him a disc only copy of what was it, Tatsunoko on the Wii, and then Super Castlevania 4, and I got a complete mint condition Chibi Robo for the GameCube. Definitely had my eye on this one for a while, so glad that I was able to trade for it. Next, I paid $30 for this one, complete in box Bomberman. So that was a really good deal. It goes for, I think, like around $40 complete, so happy to pay that for that one. And then this one, this was the last score of the day. Got it from another one of my buddies for $15. Super score on this one. The box and manual for Wario's Woods. Now this is a pretty uncommon NES game. It was also released on the Super Nintendo. So that's why it's a lot more uncommon on the NES. This was a late release for the NES, so to get it, you know, have it now complete in box, that's pretty sweet. So that was it from that. Now this was an eBay grab. Every now and then I look on eBay and you score deals on there sometimes. So this guy listed this buy it now for $140, and that was like about less than half of what this game is going for. Give or take, you know, but I mean it goes for definitely more than that. So the only thing that it was missing was the memory card, but everything else is there. For the GameCube, and I'm definitely happy to grab this one and put this in the collection, Pokemon box. So it's got, you know, the game, the manual, everything's in there. Definitely a really hard GameCube game to come by. It's not even really a game, it's just a storage organizer for the Pokemon. And then it also came with this cable for, you know, from the GBA to the GameCube. So 140 bucks, I could not pass that up. That's one of those games that I'm probably never gonna find in the wild, and if I do, that that'll be amazing. Sometimes that happens. I get the games, I buy them, whatever, and then I end up finding them later. But it was such a great deal that I couldn't pass it up. So that's everything. It was a pretty good garage sale day. I'm not gonna complain. This box, I'm pretty sure this box is better than mine, so it's gonna stay in the collection. And I mean, it's got a good story behind it now because I paid 10 bucks for it. So happy to always add stuff to my collection that have good stories behind them. I try to do that. As long as the condition is better than what I have, if I find something heavy in the wild, I always like to keep that in the collection, because then you have that story behind it. Like, yeah, I was at a garage sale and I found it for $2, something like that. So that's the cool part about hunting. It's the stories that everybody has. I mean, all my buddies and stuff, they find amazing stuff, and just the stories behind it, how they got it and where they got it. It's really cool. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys for this one. As far as swap meet videos go, I'm gonna try, to do as much as I can, but they're just going downhill. Either things are just getting too expensive, there's way too many people, or they're, the vendors just aren't bringing anything. So, I mean, it is what it is. At least in my area, it's kind of dry out here. So, as far as swap meets go, but garage sales are strong. I'm always finding stuff at garage sales, and I don't know, it's cheaper. So. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys for this one. So thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time.